real, seek help, end the stigma. On the news this evening, RISIEC set to announce timetable for local government elections. Rivers lawmakers' ultimatum to Governor Fubara stirs more reactions. Bill to amend Polytechnics Act passes second reading in the House of Reps. On the foreign scene, UN Secretary General Guterres calls for clear plan for Gaza's recovery. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. Back. Following the Supreme Court ruling that cancelled the October 5, 2024 local government elections in Rivers State, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, says it will announce a new timetable and guidelines for the rescheduled election tomorrow. RISIEC Chairman, retired Justice Adolphus Enebeli, said in a statement that the timetable and guidelines will be released after a stakeholders meeting at the Commission's headquarters along Aba Road, Port Harcourt. Last Friday, the Supreme Court ruled that RISIEC did not properly follow due process in conducting the elections. Meanwhile, a former Ikwere local government chairman, Besman Amadi, and his 13 councillors yesterday stormed the Ikwere Council Secretariat, insisting on resuming office. Their action follows a ruling by the Court of Appeal led by Justice A.H. Laga Balogun, which nullified an earlier Federal High Court judgment that removed Amadi and other local government chairmen from office. Addressing supporters at the council gate, Besman Amadi called on the Inspector General of Police to immediately withdraw security personnel stationed at the Secretariat.
I came to assume office based on the victory we had in the Appeal Court ruled and set aside the judgment of Akambi, and based on the Supreme Court ruling asking the chairman of local governments, so local government cannot be vacant, we have to assume office. We are appealing to IG to order the Commissioner of Police to vacate the police presence in the council. My coming is to restore peace and order. My people are aware that I am a man of peace, so they are ready to give me free hand.
He also argued that he and his councillors have not yet completed their tenure.
They should give us a little chance. Let us prove our mandate. We are given a mandate to rule for 3 years, and that is the mandate we stand. We came under the platform of APC. It's under that platform that we have come back, under the renewed hope of Senator Tinubu, who is the president of the country. My coming in is to bring in peace and development. In an area that is peace, it's easy to have development. So we have come to restore development in the Ikwere government to ensure that agricultural process is going on. We have come to empower the students and help facilitate the health sector.
Moving on, the President General of Grassroots Development Initiative, GDI, Bright Amehule, says the Rivers State House of Assembly's 48-hour ultimatum for Governor Siminalayi Fubara to present the 2025 budget is in the interest of Rivers people. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire, Mr. Amehule said the move is to ensure funds are available to pay civil servants. Mr. Amehule urged the Rivers State government to respect the Supreme Court's judgment.
The Rivers State Assembly, under Right Honorable Martin Amaewhule, is not giving any ultimatum to the governor as to say that either they want to encroach upon the governor's powers, they talk to the governor of the state. But what they are also doing is based on the governor's past antecedents in the way of wanting to present budget to this Rivers State Assembly. So it's for the governor now to obey the judgment of the Supreme Court and just represent the 2024 budget. While they are also asking for 2025 budgets on time, is to avoid a situation where there won't be monies to pay the salaries of workers at the state level. Rivers State Assembly is not fighting the governor. What they are doing is for the interest of the people. I think those who are already been flying before now should even appreciate the Rivers State Assembly.
On his part, a legal practitioner, Chioma Choko, said the State House of Assembly should focus on legislative duties rather than compelling the governor to present the budget. Meanwhile, some residents of Port Harcourt say the Supreme Court judgment favors a specific group seeking to control the state's affairs rather than serving the interest of the Rivers people. They spoke to correspondents on this.
They're not supposed to come back because this state is for everybody. Not be the state will be say one person. We say I get the state want to control the states. What if the Supreme Court judge me? I know they very happy with that judgment. By the Constitution, they say anybody will come out from the party, will defect from that party without problem. You don't lose your seat. I mean, I don't even see anything we're supposed to go to court because this thing can lead to chaos.
The ruling is not proper from the Supreme Court. The people where they play this politics, they don't understand any politics where they want to play. It's supposed to be in the best interest of the Rivers people, not be in their own interest. Then they'll be minority. Not be based on the grudges so that they get with their self. Not be based on the individual power play where they play with their self. Anything we bring them back there, make it be so they follow due process.
Former spokesman of River State Civil Society Organization, Solomon Lenu, has called on the Ferdinand Alabraba-led Rivers elders to prevail on state lawmakers not to heat up the polity with their 48-hour ultimatum to the governor. Mr. Lenu said this while reacting to what he called biased advice given to Governor Fubara by Ferdinand Alabraba. Mr. Lenu spoke to correspondent Soibiru Wari.
A lot of persons has been asking if we actually have elders in the state when all of this is going on and what have they been doing. To add to it, you cannot claim to be an elder and then you listen to the kind of statement that the Martins Amaewhule and co. released a few days ago, giving the governor of the state 48 hours ultimatum to come and present the budget. Otherwise, what will happen? What have they said about that very debilitating and vexatious statement from a supposed House of Assembly who should lead by example and show respect and decorum to the office of the governor? What has the elders said? Nothing, and they claim that they are elders.
Mr. Lenu also urged genuine elders of the state who have no political interest to wade into the lingering political crisis between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT minister to save the state from unnecessary tension. On his part, former Commissioner for Information and Communication, Ogbonna Nwuke, said the governor does not need any biased advice from elders that have preferred interest in the current political crisis.
And doesn't have to advise the governor of Rivers State on what to do, because the governor of Rivers State have already stated his reaction in the state broadcast. In that state broadcast, the governor made it clear he was going to react positively to the ruling of the Supreme Court, even though I think that elders who are unable to put out a fire in their homes, elders who stoke fire in their homes, should qualify. You know, no talk like the elderly. I know there is an elders committee in Rivers State. I know that you cannot be the chairman of elders committee all your life.
In other news, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara says his commitment to improving infrastructure shows that his administration is delivering purposeful governance. Speaking at the commissioning of the rehabilitated Mile 1 Fire Service Station in Port Harcourt, Governor Fubara said the state-of-the-art equipment has been acquired to upgrade the fire service.
I asked the question, what is the purpose of governance? Provision of services, protection of life and property. And what we are doing today is to tell the good people of Rivers State and to showcase to the world that there is governance in this state. Not governance for the sake of governance, but governance that is purpose-driven. Governance that is interested in projects that will change the life of our people.
The governor noted that the state's ability to prevent a major fire incident last week was due to the new equipment provided by his administration.
This incident has recorded a lot of losses in our houses, in our marketplaces. We lost the Maiwan because we couldn't respond adequately. We lost even what we call fruit garden market because we could not respond. Are we talking about houses, lives that have been lost in this state because of inadequate fire service? Some days ago, a tanker fell along the Woji Elelewon Road. If it were before, life would have been lost. Immediately, it was the River State Fire Service that responded and arrested the situation.
Meanwhile, the leader of the Genuine Malwan shop owners, Princess George Will, says the remodeling and commissioning of the fire service has given confidence to the traders. Speaking with correspondent to Enkachiwosu, Princess George Will said rehabilitation of fire services across the state will also reduce the loss of goods and service usually suffered by traders during fire disasters.
We are very, very happy about it because I think it will really help a lot by not letting same incident that have been happening to my own market and probably other markets happen again. And more especially, we also have fire service inside that market. And when we start using it, I know it will be very functional. So it's a very good one. We are happy and we thank the River State government so much. His Excellency, Siminalayi Fubara, he has done a lot for River State and we love him. We appreciate him so much. It's a kudos, good one, and we love it. I think it will not make such incidents happen again.
Still to come, Bill to amend Polytechnics Act, passes second reading. Stay tuned.
Apostolic and prophetic impartation.
A professor of political sociology in the University of Port Harcourt, Steve Wadu, has described as a mere political statement the claim by President Tinubu that federal allocation to states and local government areas tripled after the removal of fuel subsidy. Professor Wadu said this while speaking with correspondent Soibi Oruwari. He said a reported increase of federal allocation to states and local government areas has no corresponding impact on the lives of citizens.
It is obvious that there is a big difference between increasing allocation and substantial spending, that is appropriate spending that will impact on people. The real thing is this: the impact of such receipts, such revenue on the livelihood of people in the state and in the local government. Are we seeing it? Is it in infrastructure? Is it on livelihood support systems? When these things are not, then it becomes just a claim.
Also, the chairman of Defense for Human Rights and Democracy, Clifford Solomon, said civil society organizations will monitor and hold state and local government councils accountable for the proper utilization of the increased federal allocations.
We are ready to hold them very much accountable and also to better serve and provide a dividend of democracy for the triple the federal government allocation that has been that is being released to them, because we are tired of other development. We want real-time development in Nigeria, because much allocation, as revealed by the president, is now accrued to various state governments and the local government area. So, as civil society organization, we will hold them accountable and we will probe them.
As the world marks Obesity Day today, some residents of Port Harcourt struggling with weight loss have shared their challenges in achieving a healthy and desired weight. Speaking with correspondent Martha Okere, a mother of 3, said that factors such as childbirth, love for food, and the lack of visible results from exercise have made her weight loss journey difficult.
Love of food is the basic thing. And then, of course, when you're working out and you're not seeing results, you just feel like you want to give up and keep up with your weight. Childbirth, of course, is a big contributor. I mean, if you're trying to do it and you get pregnant again, you go back to square one. And then lack of sleep. You're always walking around the clock or taking all these soda. All those things are also one of the things that make you not lose weight. Too much sugar. But of course, we have to keep moving now.
Women are not the only ones facing weight loss challenges. 2 men shared their biggest obstacles to achieving their desired weight.
Stress is something that makes people hard. Me, and personally, I think that's one of my problems. And sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I feel the weight. But right now, to get rid of it is so hard. I reach house very late. I leave very early in the morning. Meanwhile, if you don't eat your food, Madam go know that they're happy. She go say you get people outside where they feed you. So we need to change the mindset in the country that we need to be more exercise prone, and the only way to do that is the country needs to be a little less stressful.
When I'm around, I just lazy around, I eat, and so I lose and I add. It's in between. I mean, it's always hard to start, especially when you walk out. I go to the stadium, I don't go to the gym. If I don't go, then you start adding. What you take in will now make you blow up over time.
In the meantime, the River State Commissioner for Health, Adeze Ore, says it is time to break the cycle of shaming and blaming people who are obese. Dr. Ore stated this in an interview today.
People with obesity are constantly shamed and blamed because many, including doctors, policymakers and others, do not fully understand the root causes of obesity. Therefore, today, we focus on hope and action. Changing systems means rethinking how we approach health and nutrition. It means creating environments where healthy choices are available, affordable, and appealing. We must advocate for policies that promote healthy living. This includes implementing regulations on food marketing, particularly to children.
The theme for this year's World Obesity Day is Changing Systems, Healthier Lives. Tayo Akinwade Marvelous has secured a place in the semi-finals of Nigeria Info FM's I Beg to Differ Season 4 debate today. Tayo Akinwade Marvelous and Akamas Chierika contested on the topic, should schools offer mandatory financial literacy classes?
Financial literacy will teach people the do's and don'ts about having wealth in our society today that everyone is tensed up. For example, do not go about flaunting your money and showing off on the internet, as you could be a target to criminals. Again, financial literacy could also help people avoid financial pitfalls such as debt accumulation. As the saying goes, he who goes a borrowing goes a soaring.
My opponent, you would agree with me that the school curriculum is already overcrowded. So, why bug the students? You don't have to carve out financial literacy class as a separate subject when we have topics like maths, economics, and accounting. Second, increased crime rates. In Nigeria, we are facing a very serious threat, which, in quotes, the Yahoo boys. Exposing youngsters and students to financial literacy classes only exposes us to more dangers.
In the second segment, Jumbo Sotonye secured a place in the semi-finals after debating on the topic. Increasing the academic qualifications of elected leaders would lead to better leadership. Sotonye debated against Akeju Wemimo Cherish.
Leadership is the ability to inspire, guide, and govern people effectively. While academic qualifications provide knowledge, the real question is whether increasing them would guarantee better leadership. Let's examine the facts. Firstly, it ensures informed decision making and policy implementation.
Many educational institutions have been plagued with corruption, nepotism, and bribery, making the same academic qualification an unreliable measure. In many developing countries, degrees are bought, examinations are manipulated, and unqualified individuals are given qualifications simply because of money and connections. So I ask, should a capable, hardworking leader be rejected?
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act. The bill is sponsored by the Speaker of the House, Abbas Tajuddin, and Chairman of the House Committee on Federal Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education, Fuad Laguda. The bill also seeks to increase the qualification for appointment of rectors of polytechnics and empower them to award Bachelor of Technology instead of Higher National Diploma. On the international scene, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says there's a need for a clear political framework that lays the foundation for Gaza's recovery, reconstruction, and lasting stability. Mr. Guterres said this at the ongoing Arab Leaders Summit in Cairo, Egypt. The UN scribe said Gaza must remain an integral part of an independent, democratic, and sovereign Palestinian state, with no reduction in its territory or forced transfer of its population. On the news this evening, you heard RISIEC said it will announce the timetable for another local government election tomorrow. Rivers lawmakers' ultimatum to Governor Fubara continues to stir more reactions. A bill to amend the Polytechnics Act has passed second reading in the House of Reps. On the foreign scene, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for a clear plan for Gaza's recovery. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.